Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. I felt very called to come on here and do a special reading for you guys for a pick a card or pick a pile, I should say, for anybody who is looking to connect with a deceased or long lost loved one. So I have these piles pre-shuffled and they are separated by the choice of crystal or number, whichever one you're drawn to. We've got a green aventurine tree. We've got a howlite snowman, and I believe this is also howlite, but it's an aura agate, so it's got a little bit of a polished look to it, and it is a stocking. So keep in mind this is a general reading. So, the messages that come through may or may not be for you today. You may want to watch all three. And again, if one snippet of one pile resonates with you, then take that. Don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever doubt the signs that you're receiving. And I thought that the background today, it's obviously a Christmas themed decor that I have back here, but it says believe in the spirit. And I just can't stress to you enough that energy never dies, and our souls are energy. We are energy. It just changes form. It changes realms. Okay, so no matter what religion or spirituality belief you may have, I hope that you can find comfort in knowing that you still can communicate and connect with your loved ones. So I'm hoping that for those of you who are watching, looking to connect with somebody, that does happen for you today. Keep in mind that I keep it open as far as what type of energy may come through. So I do try to pinpoint. It usually comes through pretty clearly in the cards whether this person is deceased or living. So sometimes we do have situations where it's a long lost love that comes through, right? That person's still alive, but for whatever reason, it's a lost love. So I don't set the intention that it just has to be deceased, literally deceased, because sometimes when we lose someone in our life, and it could be not just a love situation, but a family situation, it truly can feel like a death when you have that rift and the break in the bond, right? So anyway, I will stop chit chatting, and I will just say that the decks that I'm using will be listed down below. I will also show you all the cards so you can see, because as you know, if you followed me, in addition to looking at the traditional meanings of the cards, I also read based on the imagery. Okay. There also will be timestamps down below, and there should be little segments that you can actually click on to go to each specific one. So we are going to go ahead and get started now with number one. So I'm going to move these over to the side here. Let's see, get these out of the way. This is the snowman. This is here. Okay. So number one is the tree. And as I said before, this one, these I pre-shuffle, but I haven't seen these. So it takes me sometimes to, a little bit just to kind of pull the energy together. So let's see what we've got. Oh boy. So I'm getting a couple of different messages here, okay? So if you chose one, the first part maybe doesn't resonate for you. You may want to just fast forward a little bit, or just stay tuned and just know that I have a couple of different messages here. So I am getting energy of someone who is still alive. I am also getting energy of for somebody who's deceased. So just know that I'm going to go into both scenarios. Okay. So what I'm getting here, I mean, we have the Nine of Cups, which is actually a very beautiful energy. This is about living your best life, you know, being just happy with yourself, right? And, you know, this almost to me, though, it looks like she's posing for someone, right? In this scenario, she's like just happy. She's maybe out on a date. It looks like, you know, this is my Christmas tarot deck, so this was intended to be like a New Year's Eve or Christmas party. She's just very, very happy. And then the Tower comes. Okay, and that's a Christmas tree burning down. So this could literally be this time of year where the relationship went up in flames, right? I'm getting too, though, this person may have actually not even, you know, committed to you, because the trigger in shadow that is coming through is crumbs, which is like breadcrumbs, hot and cold, shallow, non-committal. So we also have the unicorn fantasy land. So I'm getting that, you know, there was this, you know, maybe you had different intentions. You really thought this person was the love of your life. And just, you know, it went up in smoke. And I'm getting, like, I feel like it happened around this time of year. So perhaps this is where you're really feeling the loss of that and you're trying to understand what's going on. I feel like some of you have been waiting on this person because we have the monk or nun card. This is from the past life oracle. That's why I bring that out, just to try to bring out maybe some ancestral or things like that. But monk or nun, that to me denotes celibacy. Also, the Nine of Cups is an energy of soul being alone. We also have, from the Divination deck, we have in. So Nicholas, could be a name, you know, take it how it resonates. We've got W as well, so this could be a last name, Wilson, William, Wendy. You know, again, it doesn't have to be those. Those were the first ones that just came to my mind. And I'm getting, like, with the N and the W, Spirit is saying no way. No way. And we'll get to that in a minute. This could have been, you know, a very deep spiritual connection that you felt, and I feel like the clear, you know, thing is this was, you know, meant to come in. Perhaps you even, you know, maybe you left a relationship for this person. Maybe they were the tower that came in and burnt this, and you're like, what the heck, right? But perhaps that was their only purpose, was to get you out of another situation that wasn't serving you, and to get you on to, you know, the path that you're supposed to be on, which appears to me, you know, is a journey of self, is a journey of focusing on your own happiness and not settling for crumbs. I am getting, if this is resonating, that you did, you know, you did or you do perhaps have telepathic connection with this person. And, you know, because we have, for the messages of closure, yes, I heard you. I'm also getting that maybe they ghosted you, and maybe you wrote them a letter or left them some kind of a message and they never responded, or you didn't know if they got it. I feel like the message got through. And it's like they just weren't capable or mature enough to give you what you wanted and deserved. But what I'm getting very strongly from Spirit is we've got the advice from Archangel Michael is to shield yourself. It says, Archangel Michael, I ask you to protect me, my loved ones, my vehicle, and my home with your powerful shield. Surround us in your purple light, which allows only pure love to penetrate. Please stay with me day and night and keep my loved ones safe. I'm just getting that this is shield yourself from toxic energy, right? I'm not getting a situation. Now, obviously, if this is speaking to you, that this person might be dangerous, right? Like, you know, maybe you pulled away, and they were in fantasy land, or, you know, they had a crush on you, you know, to take that as it resonates. But I don't think you'd probably be watching the video for that, right? You wouldn't be longing after that person. But what I'm getting is, this is just to put up the shield, like to know you're protected and to know that good things are coming in for you, right? And to not tolerate toxic, unhealthy connections that aren't, you know, it's really, it's more about living in the fantasy, right? Um, so that's what I'm getting for some of you. And, you know, you may have been drawn to the tree anyway, the green aventurine. You know, the green is definitely associated with heart healing. Now, for those of you who have lost someone, um, I'm getting, again, it could have been this time of year, just because the energy I'm feeling, that there was something that happened this time of year. There could have been a fire, like a house fire, a fiery, kind of like a car accident, you know, because we have the tower, and the tower is, that divine intervention, that shocking, you know, catastrophic tragedy that can happen. Again, you know, if you skipped earlier, I will show you, we do have the initials N and W here. Doesn't have to be that, but it can just be further confirmation for you. But I'm getting, again, no way, just like I did the other one, like there's no way this person, like there's nothing that could have been done to prevent this from happening. This is, you know, again, there's so much going on. There's so much going on with the divine, and with spirit, and with our soul contracts, and with the behind the scenes, so to speak, right? It's beyond what we can comprehend, right? So sometimes things just don't make sense, and they may never make sense, right? But maybe one day they will. But I think what we're being told, like what I'm being told, I should say to you now, is that there's nothing that you could have done to change the outcome. And so I don't know if that's where the fantasy land comes in, right? That you keep thinking about it over and over again, and what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently? I almost get to, like, you know, with this monk or nun, that you're just like closing yourself off from this person. I am getting, I am feeling a love connection here. But again, if this was, you know, other parts of this were resonating, then take that. But I'm getting, that you've kind of just like become a recluse or hermit because of the grief. And they don't want that. They don't want to see your life kind of crumble away, right? That's where we have with these crumbs. It's like you're you know, this cookie, I mean, it looks like it's been sitting out a while, and it's actually a heart, you know, partially broken off. It's like it's just dusty and old, and it's not like, it's not flavorful, it's not savory, it's not, you know, it's just this stale, broken, bland existence, right? And that's not what they want for you. You know, also, again, you know, unicorns could be, you know, have some sort of a special meaning with you and this person. Maybe, you know, they bought you like a unicorn figurine. I'm seeing like one of those, like a carousel, maybe. Either like you rode on a carousel, or there was like one of the, like a music box with like a unicorn that, you know, I don't know if you know if that makes sense. But there could be something specific. So again, if that resonates, you know, take that message. Again, the yes, I heard you. This is, you know, confirmation if you have been trying to communicate with this person. I'm getting, you know, that for some of you, you know, you may be finding feathers more lately, or recently, white feathers specifically, and maybe in places that don't make sense, and maybe you've brushed it off and thought, oh, you know, it just blew in with the wind or something like that. And again, I just want to reiterate, believe in the spirit, that, you know, don't discount yourself, because I do feel like this person and you are still connected, and they do want you to move forward and to live your life. I'm getting with the shield yourself. Perhaps you're afraid maybe you're even, I don't know if you were in an accident with them, like if it was a car accident, or it just because of that happening, you're afraid to even like get in a car. Because I'm getting you specifically, I was called to look at my vehicle. Like, Archangel Michael, I ask you to protect me, my loved ones, my vehicle, and my home with your powerful shield. And again, the home, that could be if there was a fire. I'm just getting that there's this like a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear with moving forward and just existing. And so you can call on Archangel Michael to help shield you. I did read the whole thing through a little ways back if you want to go back and look. But you don't have to read it to a script. I mean, you can literally call on Archangel Michael anytime you want, anytime you need, and say anything that's in your heart, anything that you're feeling. Archangel Michael, I call on you now. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling alone. I'm feeling anxious. If you are suffering with anxiety, I would highly recommend getting some raw amethyst. Raw is like the actual rock form of it, right? Like if it comes out of the ground, versus polished. Polished stones are beautiful and they're nice for jewelry and things like that. But in my mind, in my experience, I feel that the raw form of the stone is a lot more powerful. But I even had a friend recently, I think she was pretty skeptical maybe of crystals, understandably. If I myself, before I discovered them a few years ago, was like, what is this? Why are people buying rocks? And but it really did alleviate her anxiety, and she was blown away. Apache tears are also great for grief. They're small black crystals. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you would like to schedule a session to talk through any of your feelings, to look at your specific situation, your life, to have any kind of a guidance session, that information is all down below. Okay, so we are moving on to the Snowman now. So I guess I should move this guy out. The little highlight Snowman. And as I mentioned, if you didn't watch pile 1, I have not seen these yet, these cards, so it sometimes takes me a little while to get the messages, so that's interesting. Okay, wow, okay, all right. So for this one, I'm clearly getting a romantic situation, and I'm clearly getting that this person's alive. And so the death that you've experienced here, I'm getting, likely was the end of a marriage, or the end of a very meaningful relationship. Let's see here. I'm getting that, maybe for some of you, this person, you may have children with this person, and I'm getting more the male. I mean, not to blame the male for being the betrayer here, but take it how it resonates. But I'm just getting that this person, like, it may be 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 months, or 2 or 3 years since you've seen this person, since the kids have seen this person, since they've been in your life. And I'm getting that, that there was an affair. Perhaps they were on a business trip, or they said they were on a business trip and they actually weren't on a business trip. But I'm getting that you've been doing a lot of healing during this time. The 4 of Swords. This is, and you can see the cat under the Christmas tree. He does look still kind of sad, kind of tired, but that's that rest and recovery. You've been putting a lot of healing into it. I'm getting too that perhaps there has been, maybe given the situation, the divorce was very ugly. Perhaps they remarried this person, or they're still with this other person. And And so that's why I'm getting like perhaps there's not been any communication. We have the Page of Swords here, which the Page of Swords does govern communication, which is interesting. It can either mean you're going to communicate with somebody or you've cut off communication. So you can see here, it's like, is she going to send the letter or is she not? So I don't know, again, if there's children involved, if there's been a desire from the kids to communicate and there's stress about that, I'm getting that, and perhaps the children were like 2 or 3 years old when this happened, because we have 2 and a 3, so take that, it could be your age, 23, 32. This is where I was getting the time too, with the 2 to 3 years or 2 to 3 months. But I'm getting now, like, maybe the kids are older or enough time has passed where it's like, I think the only reason perhaps you'd want to mend fences here is because of the children, and heal that bond and heal that void in their lives. Some of you may just be looking for closure. And in that case, the message of closure from this person is, I wasn't thinking. Well, we know in those situations that how it goes. They're not thinking with their head. The one on their shoulders, right? They weren't thinking, and I think because they were caught, I don't think they ever had any intention. They didn't want to leave you or betray the family. They didn't want that to happen, but then it's like once everything blew up, it's like, well, this person doesn't love themselves, right? That's why they just would seek gratification outside of themselves because they didn't know how to love. They didn't know how to love you because they don't love themselves. And so they just stayed with this person because it's safe, it's there, and they didn't want to be alone. They knew that they screwed things up with the family, and it was too late, to even try. We do have is the trigger and shadow betrayal, which is why, that coupled with I wasn't thinking and leaving or travel from the past life oracle, which was what telling me that this happened. This happened on a trip of some sort, or there was a lie around, a betrayal around that. Now what's interesting is for the charm cards, we have Santa and we have gift. And as you guys can see from this deck, it's got a Halloween back on it. I think there's like 70 or 80 cards in this deck, okay? There's a lot of cards in this deck. And I can tell you there's maybe, out of 70 or 80 cards, maybe 8 or 9, 10 that have to do with Christmas. So it's really interesting to me that this one came out, and it's gift. And so I think, number one, the gift could be for, you to allow your kids to send the letter, right? To reach out, to communicate, to try to re-establish that relationship. The gift can also be for you to act, really like work on your healing and try to move through this and try to understand that, maybe the message of closure, like you never got one, like why they did this. And it's like, literally, it wasn't anything to do with you. They weren't thinking, and then it all exploded and imploded, and this isn't something that they ever wanted to happen. Doesn't mean it makes it okay. But I feel like that gift too is for you to, work on moving past this and opening yourself up to forgiveness and being able to trust again, which is not an easy process. The snowman too, I mean, that can be cold, right? The snow is cold. That can be an energy of like your heart is on lockdown, your heart is frozen. So we have a message from Archangel Michael here, and the romance angels are helping you. Dear guardian angels of my soulmate, thank you for preparing my soulmate and me for love, for giving us the motivation to make healthful life changes, and for arranging for us to meet. Thank you for helping us recognize each other and have the courage to say hello so that we can eventually delve into a truly intimate relationship. And so obviously, in the situation, what you've been through and you're still healing, this is, finding someone else and diving into a deep, intimate relationship is probably, not up to top of your list or something that you maybe even believe in anymore. And I think this is just showing up that it's like eventually one day you're going to realize all this was a gift. And it's like, how the hell can you say that? How the hell can you say that, Sarah? How is it a gift if somebody betrayed you and broke up the family? And, because this is your opportunity to rise. This is your opportunity to dive deep and discover yourself and love yourself and look back at the ways perhaps that you settled in the relationship. Perhaps there were red flags. And that's something you're not going to do again, right? And one day, when this is ready to manifest and you're ready to bring it in, you're going to realize, oh my God, this is why all this happened. This has led me to this path, right? I'm getting for some of you, with the leaving or travel, it's like, you may even be able to help guide and counsel and advise others who have gone through this situation. You might, find that your divine life purpose is to become a beacon of light, for other women or men, depending on the situation, who are going through this, right? And I can tell you, well, it's easy for me to say, not having children, right? In a situation, it's hard enough to go through this type of thing without that. But when my second marriage fell apart, I thought my life was over, and none of it made sense. I didn't believe in love anymore. I was literally, the dark night of the soul, rock bottom, and the only way you can go from there is up, right? Are you going to stay here and let these, this keep burning at you and burning holes into you, right? Or are you going to, take that fire that's lit and stand up and rise and go forward with it, right? I never dreamed, that in 2016, as I was in this energy, that I would be doing what I'm doing now, and that I would be helping people, and I never would have dreamed that not only would that pain that death that I was going through, it would make sense, but that it was just the start of my life, that it was just the start of me discovering who I was. So all I can say is, in that pain, focus on the growth, and that one day it will make sense. Apache tears were a godsend for me during that time, with grief, and they're a great grief stone that you can find in a lot of crystal shops or on Amazon. You may also want to write a letter to this person. Whether or not you send it, that's up to you. But just getting out everything you want to say and burning it can be extremely empowering. So I am getting to, for some of you, if you're afraid, based on, I'm getting if there was a concern about the kids reaching out, that could be a gift this holiday season, that relationship has started for the children, that can start to be healed. So I wish you the best, and I hope that you can find joy in this holiday season and beyond. If you would like to look into your specific situation, if you would like to schedule a session with me, that information is down below. Okay, pile 3, we are moving on to pile 3, which is the stocking. All right, let's see what we've got here. If you didn't watch any of the other ones, I have not seen the cards yet, so it takes me a little while to figure out what's going on here. getting a couple of different messages here. Okay, so I'm picking up on a grandmother or mother energy who has passed, or there's a rift in the family. Somebody's not speaking to each other. Okay. I'm getting the energy of somebody who, this woman isn't or wasn't very emotional, and she tried to, buy affection. Like, that's how she showed affection, was to buy things and spend money, and maybe money she didn't have. But she was very giving in that regard, but cold emotionally, because we have the moon here. And so, and what I see is like, here's more presents, here's more presents, here's more presents. And this little child is like sitting out in the cold, and all she wants is just to be hugged and held and just, valued. Like, I just love you. I love you. And to get that emotional fulfillment. And I feel like that didn't happen. And so, the question, if you've been wondering, is it possible for us to mend this relationship? We've got, from the Divination deck, we've got yes. So there's only one yes card. I think there's 40 something cards in the deck. One yes card and a no card. And you did get a yes. This could be, if you've been asking yourself a question other than, if it's, should I, whatever you've asked yourself about the situation, right? The answer is yes. Okay, so take that how it resonates. Now, we do have months, so it may be several months since you've seen or spoken to this person, to this mother energy, mother, grandmother. And it could be months before it gets resolved. So again, take that how it resonates if you've been thinking about timing. I'm getting, for some of you, there could have been some sort of a dispute over a locket. We have that here. It's sentimental. I don't know if it was like a grandmother's locket, and like the grandma promised it to you, and the mother took it or gave it to somebody else. That might have caused the rift. I'm getting that for some. Let's see here. As far as the shadow card, we've got negative. And I believe I did update this one, so you should be able to see now the writing that's here. But on this version that I have here, it doesn't. It's victim, depressing, pessimistic. So I'm getting that it's like this attitude that she has. It's like it's always about her. Like, maybe when she would buy you all these things, like, and if you weren't appreciative because you would have rather had the affection, then it was like turning everything around, and it was, all about her. Victim mode, like you were attacking her or something. She may have said something, or you may have said something that you didn't mean. I'm getting, I feel like the situation was very emotional and very heated, and excuse me, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm getting like throat chakra stuff going on. So something around communication, something was said that was like a knife in the heart, or like very, very triggering. And it's like, I didn't mean what I said. So it may be something as simple as that, as far as if you were the one that said something, right? If she pushed your buttons and triggered you, just saying, I didn't mean what I said to her, and reaching out. I feel like, the emotions here, again, haven't been communicated, haven't been, and recognizing that, somebody's, not going to, maybe they are who they are, right? So if she doesn't have that self-love, doesn't have that emotional, ability to express emotions the way that you would want, she may never have that, right? But just learning to respond versus react, you know, and you don't have to be around her that much, right? But if you're really wanting to heal this disconnect here, I'm getting that there are ways to do that. You just have to recognize, I think, her limitations, and recognize, you know, where you're being triggered, and then react or respond accordingly. Now I am getting, for some of you, this could be somebody who has passed, okay? And perhaps things were left unsaid, or they said something to you that was really hurtful, and you didn't get to mend the fences, so to speak, before they passed away. And so that is leaving you very, you know, very much feeling like a negative attitude, a negative energy. And I'm getting, you know, if the question there was, do they know how much I love them? Do they understand that I didn't mean what I said? Or they didn't, you know, that's the confirmation. We've got the yes, and I didn't mean what I said. For some of you, you know, where I'm getting that they're deceased, possibly is the locket. You know, could have been somebody's locket that you keep. We also have the Galactic, which is the past life card. This to me is like somebody's return to source. This is like their soul being in another realm. But it could just be confirmation that you and this person, maybe you shared, or they had, you know, an extreme love or interest for astronomy and looking at the stars and going out and stargazing. And maybe that's something that was fun that you did when you were a kid. And if this person is still alive, this is something, you know, perhaps maybe you can use to mend the rift, to focus on the commonalities, even if it's very, very little, even if it's just that. Understand their limitations, and maybe suggest going to a planetarium together, or doing something that, you know, that you've enjoyed. Now, for those of you, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going back and forth, but it's just how the messages are coming in. We do have a second card that came out for the charm cards, which is cologne. So this could be like perfume, you know, that you smell their perfume around you, if it's like a deceased mother or grandmother. Again, I know it says cologne, so it could be a man as well, but I am mostly picking up on a female energy here. So this is interesting to me too, and another indication, you know, perhaps, you know, leaning more towards this is somebody who's alive and there's a rift, okay? New beginnings and a fresh start. This is the guidance from Archangel Michael. Thank you for bringing new opportunities and offering support, and for helping me release and heal my past. Fill me with trust as I experience these life changes. To me, new beginnings and a fresh start, it's like you can, you know, have a fresh start with this person. You can heal the divide, right? And start new again. It's just going to take probably somebody, you know, getting out of the negative attitude, the victim mode, and taking that first step to say, I didn't mean what I said. Now, if this is somebody who passed and you have regrets or things that were left unsaid, you know, this is here to confirm that their energy is still around you, right? And you may again smell the cologne or get other signs from them, so that you can say these words out loud. You can write them a letter and burn it to send it to the heavens, right? To send it out into the ethers. You can say these things. And I'm getting, for some of you, I'm totally going to butcher the name of this, but I think it's the Ho'oponopono prayer. I don't know if it's called a prayer, but it's like a mantra. And it's very powerful. Just Google it, because I probably won't say it right. But it seems very counterintuitive, especially if somebody did you wrong, right? And you feel like they should apologize. It's actually really, really powerful, because it's like this mirroring back, and it helps you release some of that anger and some of that hatred, or whatever it is you're feeling, right? It's like this poison that can be eating you up inside. But it's something like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, or it's something like that. But why would you say, please forgive me, if they did you wrong? But you'd be surprised how powerful that is. To start fresh, you know, and one of the things that I often tell people, you know, no matter what happened, right? Well, there's some limits, obviously, you know, physical harm, you know, trauma, things like that. But for the most part, if it's words that were spoken, and just there's just, you know, people's egos that flared up, and people were hurt, and people were triggered, and they reacted. And I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, you guys, because when I channel, that's kind of what happens. I lose where I'm at. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. There I'm going. What would happen, right? How would you feel, right? You're holding on to this negativity. You're holding on to this. You keep putting it off, and, you know, they pass away tomorrow. They pass away tomorrow, and you never got to tell them in human form that you did love them, or that you didn't mean what you said. You know, so don't take tomorrow for granted, because it's not something that we're always, you know, we always have the gift of. So I would just encourage you, you know, if you are thinking about reaching out to this person, then I think that could be, you know, that could be maybe the best gift that you could give yourself this holiday season, if it's weighing on you. And, you know, I feel like, at least, you know, you can't control how the other person reacts or responds, but you can control yourself, and you can get that off your chest, and at least you know you made the effort. You made the effort, and, you know, if you keep your cool, keep things peaceful, keep things calm, and excuse me, say what you need to say, and respond in a high vibrational conscious manner, versus letting them push in your buttons and reacting, and then you take the high road, you come out the higher person. No matter how it goes, you've done your part, and it's no longer weighing on you to make that effort, if that makes sense. So I hope that was helpful, guys. If you would like to look into your specific situation, that information is down below. Take care. Bye-bye.